Hey everybody, Pickyo Gamer here. And this has been talked about a little bit. I just watched a few hours ago RGT85 do a video about the Switch Pro, which we have a famous analyst has been talking about this. Let me double check here, this analyst. But yeah, it's interesting. So what do you think about a Switch Pro? I don't know. There's a lot of... Hi, Mike. I already got somebody watch me, and I thank you for watching me. I said I hope somebody watched this stream about the Switch Pro. According to an analyst that has successfully predicted the Switch Lite, who now claims he has absolutely no doubt that Switch will launch a Switch Pro with 4K support in 2020. I got a few things to say about this. I mean, watching other YouTubers and listening to everybody think about or talk about this is kind of made me maybe come into question what people really think or really want in a Switch Pro. Now, of course, with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, we got the refreshes, and just because we got them doesn't mean I don't think that it was actually a good thing. I've always said that for a long time we didn't need this. Yeah, it's live. Thanks, Mike. Did you watch RGT clickbait video? Yeah, I watched it. Retro Bro, good to see you here. Like I said, it's real. I thought there was brand new information. Of course, he tried to make it clickbaity. I'm trying not to do that with my stuff, but here's my thought. This is something that nobody I've seen talk about. There has been like 2 or 3 days ago, VG Charts just released the Switch has sold 49.79 million units. The Switch is right at 50 million units, doing good amount over 900,000 units in December, by December 28th. Now, I don't see in the people I watch, it's probably out there on YouTube, but I don't see a lot of people, RGT85, Dreamcast guy, a lot of these bigger YouTubers, I don't see a lot of them talking about that. So the Switch has hit 50 million. That's a big deal. We don't know really where the numbers for the good old Xbox is, but of course we know Sony is past 100 million. This is something big. Let me read the chat here. Yeah, I know the knowing about the larger YouTubers. They got the views, they got the subs, but then they do the clickbait stuff. You're right, Retro Bro, my friend. But with 50 million units and March being 3 years in, do we really need a Switch Pro? Now, what would be a Switch Pro? It'd probably have a 1080p screen on it to where there's no such thing as dot resolution and normal resolution. It'd have a higher end CPU. And one thing that RGT85 did mention, and a lot of people have talked about, is the new NVIDIA Shield. It came out in late 2019. And it has a ramped up Tegra X1, and it can upscale, do some really nice, impressive upscaling to 4K. Is this what we're talking about? I don't think so. If they're going to bring a new console, why not get NVIDIA to create something custom for you, or at least customize it? The one thing about this whole thing that just bugs me is we have two types of Switches, two SKUs. The Switch at $299, which I just got my daughter the newest one. If you look back behind me, way up here is the old Switch, the Gen 1 Switch. And the new Switch is a nice red box, newer battery, etc. And then we have the Switch Lite, which I got the wife, the Switch Lite version with the Pokemon. So are you telling me, this analyst is telling me that they're going to have 3 SKUs? A Switch Pro, a Switch, and a Switch Lite. That's a lot of Switches. And even with the Switch Lite, it's gotten to where the little cases in Target and Walmart are getting a little crowded, holding Switches and Switch Lites where the stock is reduced. 2, you're asking people, this analyst has said the possibility of $399 for a Switch Pro. That kills the Switch. Why? The Switch is not supposed to be the powerful console the PS4 and Xbox are. They're not. Or in the PS5 and the Series X coming out later in 2020. The whole point of the Switch is that it's cheap. It's cheap. It's cheaper than the rest of them. It offers you, now with the Switch Lite, the ability to get a $200 system every day with an everyday price, not just these $249, $200 something dollar. I know they have some really, really good deals at Black Friday, but you have a $300 or $200 system that plays current gen games. You know, and most of it is first party and a lot of indie games, a lot of cool stuff on it. But then you have, of course, some of The Witcher 3 just came out a little while back. There's more information about Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out. So, they don't have a lot of the stuff that the PlayStation and the Xbox have, but at the same time, it's a console that gives you something that PlayStation and Xbox can't. The switchability. Or, of course, the Switch Lite doesn't really switch, but that's neither here nor there. My wife travels back and forth to work. She works in the 911 dispatch. She's at work now. And she took her Switch and has picked up Hollow Knight. So, again, she gets to, as long as work is calm or she's away, she gets to play it. She don't care about docking. But for most everybody who's got the Switch, the whole point of the Switch and the whole point of getting, games on the Switch, even if you pick the Switch version over the PS4 or Xbox version, was for it to switch, of course. And then to go back, I'm rambling and going around this subject. I don't understand the need for a Switch Pro. Yes, the new consoles coming out, the PS5 is supposed to be 9.2 teraflops, and Series X of the Xbox is supposed to be 12. Huge gap. But why do a 3 SKUs and confuse the market? You just hit 50 million. Now I want to put a refresh. And there's more information that they talked about in that tweet where it says, hey, you're going to have bigger carts. I agree with RGT85. Even though that Retro Bro said his video is a little clickbaity. Yeah, the 32 gigabyte cartridges are barely used. I think Witcher 3 uses it, and it's expensive. So what? They're going to get even bigger, 128 gigs, but who's going to buy them? I love the Switch. I love the solid state cartridges, but they are, or game cards, you want to call them. I still call them cartridges. I'm really old school. But they are expensive. What about the idea of a new Switch in 2021? That is my idea. Now, in 2021, if they come out, say early to mid 2021, and give the Switch around 4 years, and allow Sony and Microsoft to just break out into the next generation, just cause Microsoft and Sony just come out and later on this year with a PS5 and a Series X, yeah, they're not going to have a lot other than some of the first party stuff. The big things, like they'll have a new Call of Duty, they'll have new things like that. But as we all know, with PS4 and Xbox One, they weren't really doing anything until really the second year. The devs weren't really changing their development to take full advantage of these new multi-teraflop systems. So if Nintendo waits until, say, I don't know, 2021 and do that, it might be a little better. I don't know. I don't see the Switch Pro making sense. Of course, Nintendo, that doesn't always make sense. I know, Mike Mitchell, you're saying, what are you saying here? He has PS4, who wants to trade? Okay, that you should play with your ColecoVision. Nintendo is in a weird spot. If they do go, it's what Retro Bo's saying, if they do go with a Switch Pro, what happens to Switch Lite users? They won't be able to play some of the games Switch Pro can. And that's the kicker. If you do a mid-cycle upgrade, are you going to provide power to make the game run a little better? Remember this, my friends, everybody, the games on the Xbox One and the One X are the same game, just prettier. PS4 Pro, they're the same game. Are they going to do this? If they do that, it's a moot point. Retro Bros got a good point there. Are they going to do the same thing? Which Cyrus and I, I think like 2 years ago, really, or a year and a half ago, we called we just shook our head going, why in the hell are the mid-cycle upgrades happening? Because if you make a game, I'm just going to make something up, the newest Call of Duty game comes out. Black Ops 12. I don't make it up as stupid. Now I just put something way out there. Black Ops 12 comes out. Oh, awesome. It runs at 4K, 60 frames per second. And then over here, it's got to run at this. Well, if you remember, if they're going to play, people in the Xbox Series X are going to play with other ones, or excuse me, Xbox One X, they're going to play with the Xbox, they had to equalize them. Because you couldn't have the online abilities or online gaming at different frame rates because it makes it unfair. So when they're moving up into the Series X and the PS5, yeah, they can go be like, okay, we're at 4K, 60, everything's different. We'll make a version for the Xbox One other line and the PS4 that's different. They won't play together. But if they do what they've done before and say, okay, here's a new Switch Pro, $400 system. It's 3 times as powerful, but the games also have to run on the Switch. It's kind of stupid. And Nintendo would be killing themselves or shooting themselves in the foot because they just got back into having a really good console. And I meant to say hello, Born Distracted. Sorry, I'm just rambling on. And yeah, Retro Row, why are you not watching football? I'm not a huge football fan, but I see your post on Facebook about football. And I've been going here for 12 minutes. To me, if Nintendo's going to do anything, it's going to be a new Switch, a more powerful Switch. I don't see a Switch Pro. Okay, your Eagles play tomorrow. Gotcha. I don't know. Just because an analyst says something, that does not mean it's going to work or it's going to happen. I'm not trying to bash the analyst. I mean, the guy obviously knows some of what he's talking about, but the Switch Lite was something that was coming. We got the death of the 3DS coming, and I called this on my tiny YouTube channel a while back. I think a lot of people did. They're going to have to replace something for the 3DS. That was common sense, and the Switch Lite was coming. There's no need right now for a Switch Pro. Nintendo is always going to be behind these other consoles, but it's okay as long as the gap is not too great. Could they be working on a new Switch? I guarantee you they're working on a new Switch. If they wait and release something, say 2021, right after everybody else released something, they go and let all that die down, let all the hoopla of the next gen die down, at least the release Switch Pro, 4 or 5 times the power. It's not massive, but for developers to tone down the games and convert them with, by then they could have 60, 70 million users on the Switch. Then those users want to go to the Switch 2. It'd be easier. But I don't know. Born Distracted, how much is the Switch Pro? This analyst is saying $399. It's a guess. Retro Bro saying, imagine if Nintendo actually did make a powerful console with the amount of solid first-party games, they would wreck house with full third-party. That's the interesting thing. Back in the day when people, and I don't drop names for harassment's sake with all the new policy and everything like that, but Super Metal Dave and other people were sure that the Nintendo Switch or the NX at that time was going to be a box Nintendo put in the living room, bam. Wonder, Retro Bro, you have a good idea. Wonder if they finally do a Switch Pro, or maybe it's goes something completely different and they go in that market. I don't think Nintendo's going to, but if Nintendo could come out and work with AMD and say, we want to, maybe they would try this different type of ecosystem. They'd have the Switch, but they also have this box. Maybe even work with NVIDIA of all places, because they have a working relationship with them, and have an APU from NVIDIA. And then they turn around and have, a 6 teraflop super powerhouse. And it's not that great. They're a little lower, but then most developers would easily, if not happily, convert some of their games down to them with all the third-party support. And then they would say, oh, guess what? Now you've got the new Mario Kart, Zelda, Luigi's Mansion 4, all these in 4K 60. Yeah, that's a good point, Retro Bro. They would kick Sony and Microsoft's ass. And Microsoft is going away to the point of service. If they do not do well with this next series, then we don't know. Good. Hey, Nighthawk, welcome to the stream. No, it's not confirmed. This is just an analyst that is saying, that he's sure about it. But this analyst did predict the Switch Lite. Again, I predicted the Switch Lite simply because the 3DS, a true handheld, was going away. Nintendo filled the hole of the 3DS with the Switch Lite. Now, of course, a lot of people, and I agree with it. I know the Retro Bro and Cyrus hated the non-docking ability. My wife don't give a crap because she is right now at work. She took it to work with her, and when she can, she plays. But I get why people didn't like that. It was a little stupid. They could have sold a mini dock and made, sold another $50, $60 attachment and bam, be done with it. But that's neither here nor there. It's done. I would like to see Nintendo try for one more time a box you put in the living room. To be honest, I would absolutely be stoked. And if they came out saying, you know what, we're going to go for power, we're going to compete with Sony and Microsoft, I think a lot of the gamers would just go, holy shit. Yeah, hey, I'm not saying your name, EZL0021, Eslo21. I can't even talk right. He goes, yeah, first of all, and second one, anyone can predict anything. That doesn't mean it would be correct. That's true. The only thing about this is the guy did predict the Switch Lite, but then again, I don't hold him predicting the Switch Lite being that amazing. Again, it's just an analyst talking, so I wanted to re-talk about it. It's the Born Distracted said, I traded in my Lite a week after I bought it because of that. Nice device, though. Yeah, I can see that. Some people are sitting there saying, hey, it doesn't switch, it doesn't dock, it's worthless. But then some people, if they're always playing it on the go, not in front of a TV, it's worth it. But wow, I'm approaching almost 20 minutes with this talk. I'm glad a lot of people came into the chat. I don't know. A Switch Pro makes no sense right now. Yes, they're going to be behind. It's still not a problem until we look at 2021. We're talking about the rest of 2020. The Switch is fine. 2021, it starts to be a gray area. Nintendo should just go ahead and put out the Switch 2. It would be only 4 years into the life cycle, but this may mean that this is something they have to do. But think about it. The PlayStation 4 came out, and then the Xbox came out 2013. I think that's right. Yeah, let me make sure. Double check myself before. Yeah, November 15th, 2013. They'll be out nearly 7 years. The Switch came out in between this. So would it be better for Nintendo to release every 3 to 4 years a new Switch that keeps jumping forward? Or could they jump forward and hold on and allow Microsoft and Sony to go for 5 or 6 years and the Switch be a little bit below the Switch 2 below it? That's what I think they should do. Switch Pro is a waste. The Switch and the Nintendo consoles in the Switch format are never going to be up to the specs, but they can't keep doing the let's go after. They can't keep chasing this. I don't know. Sometimes predictions are worse than rumors. You're right. You're right, Born Distracted. This is something I've been wanting to talk about. Hey, Geeks with Cash, Nick Wade, my buddy here. Everybody doesn't know Geeks with Cash. Give him a watch on YouTube. He goes through he has 15-minute impression videos. He grabs a game, usually on Steam, on his computer, and he tries them out and gives you guys an impression. And he does a lot of collectibles. I just picked up another Piccolo collectible for the wife today. We don't do a lot of videos on that, but give him a shout out here. I'm giving him a shout out. And go give him a like and take a look at his stuff. But yeah, the Switch Pro, I don't know. The Switch Pro makes no sense to me. I've been talking for nearly 21 minutes. Yeah, he does have a good capture yard yet to do consoles, but give him time, and I think he will. I like his style. He really gets in there and just tells you what he thinks of the game. But Geeks with Cash, I like the idea of Switch Pro, but it does freak out the market a bit more. Yeah, I understand that. I've just been saying that they've been out. The thing about it is the light filled in the 3DS. The whole of the 3DS is, my wife's got the Pokemon version, and it's all about just portability, and she don't care to hook it up to the TV. She's at work right now with it, and she can play it. So the 3DS going away, the Switch Lite made sense. The Switch Pro right now, if they came out in 2020 before the new consoles, it'd be bad. It may happen. Nobody can predict what Nintendo's going to do. That we were looking at the NX and blah, 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 and poof, they came out and just dropped it and shocked everybody. Eslo, he said, I would rather see a Switch with better specs in terms of system space. Yeah, the 32 gigs, really only 24, 25 gigs usable is pretty paltry. They need to just drop some in there and put a little bit more into it. And they need to rework the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons are good. They need to be reworked completely. Yeah, Geeks with Cash, you got a good point. You can throw flashcards up to a gig. That's just true. Though it would be nice for them to see the push to 64, possibly 128 gigs. It's not that bad. I don't know. It depends on the amount of cost, but yeah, the left. Now you said Born Distracted. I was thinking about what the light was the left thumbstick. You mean the left D-pad? Because the left D-pad was really nice. I've sat there and played on my wife's for just a little bit. So yeah, I'm over. Wow, I'm at 23 minutes here. I got a good chat going on here. I do appreciate everybody watching. I'm probably going to wrap it up here. But Switch Pro, do you think it's coming? I don't really think it's going to come. I really don't think it makes any sense. To me, a new Switch coming out in 2021, that, no problem, Border Stride. I knew you said left thumbstick. I knew you meant D-pad. The D-pad on the Switch Lite is very nice. She's been playing Super Mario World and doing really well with that D-pad. Yeah, Eslo told me they like his Pro Controller. I love my Pro Controller on the Switch. I don't play with anything else. I can't play on Joy-Cons that much anymore. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up here. The Switch Pro, I don't think it makes any sense. Not for this year. A Switch coming out, a new Switch in 2021 would make more sense. So let's see. This is just an analyst talking, but since this is a very large or very big topic, I want to talk about it. Yeah, you're right. You say if they want to do VR, they need to. It'd be splintering the market. The PS4 Pro did that, and the Xbox One X did that too. And I hope mid-cycle upgrades are dead. Cyrus Martin and I have said this for a long time. We didn't like this, and really and truthfully, with Sony and Microsoft not showing the actual numbers of these systems, they didn't do well. They know they didn't do well. I really hope that they're gone. So we'll see. I do appreciate everybody watching here. I'm going to go ahead and give this stream a wrap. I do appreciate everybody watching. I had a lot of people in here. I've not had a good stream like this before. Cyrus does this. Yeah, I'm going to try. I'm doing this a lot more. I want to get more engagement with you guys. This is a very long discussion. I know why Cyrus does this more. I'm going to try to put the chat up here more. I've done this before with another bit of software, so we'll see how this works. Oh yeah, Geeks with Cash. 8-bit Dog controllers are good. I've got to get one. I want to get one. I got to get one. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Switch Pro, yes, no, this year, next year, or should they just wait for the new Switch? I do appreciate everybody watching. PKO Gamer.